Is it safe to visit Thailand at the moment? Thailand has been in the news a lot lately, and it's not all for good reasons.
Two Thai police officers are among the 11 suspects who kidnapped 5 Chinese businessmen from a hotel in Bangkok on April 25.
Countries like South Korea are warning their citizens not to visit Thailand due to recent kidnapping allegations.
Thailand has seen a rise in kidnapping and extortion cases involving South Korean nationals, prompting warnings from Seoul.
China also has had a high-profile kidnapping case recently, which has had a massive impact on the Chinese visitors here.
The most recent one involved a Chinese actor who went missing after he was fooled into going for a casting call in Thailand.
Now, Thailand isn't some crazy action movie where people are going to roll up on you in a van and throw a bag over your head, rip you in the van and drive away. But these warnings do exist for a reason. Scam centers are a real issue here in Southeast Asia. Thailand, Myanmar and Cambodia have all had centers shut down recently. Earlier this year, police estimated there is 100,000 people living and working in some of these scam centers along the Thailand and Myanmar border. These are just the centers that are known. Obviously, there's many more that people don't know about. Recently, there was a case of a model from Belarus that was invited here for a modeling job and later trafficked to Myanmar, where she was then tortured and killed for her organs. Now, there is pushback from Thailand on this one, as there is CCTV footage of her alone at the airport, and she doesn't look like she's under anyone's control.
The Thai Immigration Bureau has officially refuted reports that a 26-year-old Belarusian model was abducted from Thailand and trafficked to Myanmar. Surveillance footage from Suvarnabhumi Airport, including from the automatic immigration channel, serves as key evidence. The footage shows she traveled alone and showed no signs of coercion.
But as we know, things aren't always what they appear, and with everything that's unfortunately going on in Myanmar at the moment, it isn't the ideal tourist destination. Now, the reason this has come to my attention, the reason I'm making this video, is we do often hear about these things here in Thailand, but one of my friends from South Korea was supposed to come and visit me this year, and he contacted me to ask what it's like here, if it's okay for him to travel here. There are travel warnings going on in South Korea at the moment. There was an article saying 11 Koreans had been kidnapped in Thailand just this year, which has raised serious concern. Again, Thailand is pushing back on these numbers, but it doesn't change the fact that these warnings are out there and people are second-guessing Thailand as a safe destination to visit.
Authorities believe organized networks are luring victims in scams and ransom plots. Both governments are coordinating to enhance security and prevent further incidents.
Now, I want to talk about how these kidnapping or human trafficking cases work. Like I said, it's not as a van just pulls up and grabs you off the street. Most of these are done via job opportunities, things like modeling gigs, acting work. People specializing in IT get unusual opportunities here. I actually recently watched a movie on Netflix that was about this. I don't remember the name right now. I'll check it when I get home. But it was quite accurate of how this was all done. Basically, models and some IT professionals were brought to a country and smuggled across a border and put to work. And this is really how a lot of people land themselves in this situation. It's a similar story to the Chinese actor that was kidnapped from here. He genuinely believed he was out here for an acting gig.
Wang Xing was rescued and returned to Thailand, and his story went viral on social media.
Thailand is currently struggling with the tourism numbers. I made a video about this earlier in the year. I won't get too much into it. But year to date, Thailand is at 26.8 million international visitors, way down from the projected close to 40 million that they were forecasting at the beginning of the year. And as we're at the beginning of November, the year is almost done. Like I said, I won't get too much into this as I've covered it extensively, but there are various reasons to the decline. One major factor is the cost of the trip, but another concern lately is definitely the rising safety concern.
If you just type Thailand in the search bar, the first thing that comes out is 泰国安全吗, which is Thailand safe? And there were 250,000 notes there, and you can see social media users warning others to be careful when they go to Thailand.
China tourism has been on the decline since the reopening, and since their high-profile kidnapping case, the tourism numbers have taken a real hit. This has made international news. People all around the world are being urged to exercise caution in planning a trip to Thailand and basically anywhere in Southeast Asia. And as we're heading into the high season now, this may be the time Thailand experiences the biggest hit yet.
ผมบอกว่าฟังไม่ออกแล้วก็พี่ไม่เปิดมิเตอร์ด้วยพี่เขาผมตกลงกับน้องเขาว่า 1,000 บาทน้องเขาโอเคมา 1,000 บาทใครจะเอาพี่มันไม่ได้ไปอยู่ไทย20 ปีนะเข้าใจพี่ก็ต้องเข้าใจว่าค่าทางด่วนผมจ่ายเองหมดทุกอย่างผมตีรถเปล่ากลับนะ
Now, being real for a minute, Thailand is unfortunately world famous for its scams. The taxi scams, the tuk-tuks, the jet ski scams, dual pricing, bill padding, you name it, it happens here. I was in a restaurant the other day and they brought out a menu in English and the prices were literally double in the menu what was written on the wall in Thai. Now, Thailand taking advantage of tourists is nothing new, but it does wear down on people, and with the way social media works these days, people talk. They share these experiences and they warn other travelers of the risks, and without question this has had a real impact on tourism. Other Asian countries like China, Japan, South Korea, taxi scams are not a thing. When you get in, the price is whatever the price is, whatever the meter shows, and these people can be really caught off guard, and it only takes a few bad experiences to really ruin it for everyone. There are blogs in Korea warning travelers of things like this in Thailand. I've seen them myself. Now, while many Westerners, including myself, aren't too concerned about things like this, we typically tackle these challenges head on. But many other cultures around the world do everything to avoid confrontation, especially in these parts of Asia that I'm talking about. So for many, it's better to just avoid the place in general. Something you also need to consider is this is quite the burden for solo travelers or female travelers. This is without question having an impact on the appeal of visiting Thailand. So let's talk about street crime. Now, the good news is street crime is almost non-existent here in Thailand. I mean, small things do still happen, but I've never once for a single moment felt unsafe in the almost 5 years that I've lived here. And if you watch my videos, you'll know I go all over. I've been everywhere in Bangkok. I actually realized on my way here today, I've been carrying around a lot of cash with me for like the last week. A week ago, I sold some car parts for around $1,000 and I just threw that in my wallet. I've been meaning to go to a bank and deposit that. I just keep forgetting. Now, I don't feel uncomfortable about carrying around this amount of money, and this is why it just keeps slipping my mind. But this isn't something that's on my mind. I'm not like, oh my God, I've got to get to a bank and not carry around this amount of cash. Now, this is not to say that crime never happens here, but in my almost 5 years of living here, I have had no bad experiences. There was a stretch of Bangkok quite notorious with people selling drugs along Sukhumvit Road near the Nana district. Everybody knows this. It's quite literally impossible to walk down that street of Sukhumvit Road and not be bothered by someone. Recently, there was a cleanup there and police dressed up as construction workers and arrested 11 Nigerian men for selling down there. And this is, to me, great news. That little stretch of Bangkok was quite unpleasant, and while these cleanups have happened before, I do really hope this marks change. Now, I have not been to Nana since all of this has taken place, so I'm not sure if the problem is completely fixed. This was a really challenging issue. It's something I really want to bring light to myself, but I don't want to put myself in any kind of danger or get myself in any kind of trouble, so I will just let that happen as it happens. But I do hope, for the sake of Bangkok, that that little stretch of road gets cleaned up. It makes me not want to walk down there, and you can only imagine what it's like to people that are really uncomfortable in those kind of situations. Bangkok is a funny city because when you see the fences and what looks like cages around houses, this gives you the look that people are breaking into these places or scaling buildings to get inside. Now, I don't know if this was an issue many years ago or if this was just the styling of the time. A lot of other countries in Southeast Asia share the same look, but Thailand is one of the safest countries in the world when it comes to break-ins. Now, I know the bars and the cages on the buildings tell a different story, but you have to remember this is a Buddhist country and the vast majority of the people here are kind, honest, and hardworking. Another visual thing that you will see in Bangkok that can skew your perspective is the graffiti. Now, Thailand has a really big graffiti scene here. People travel from all over the world to partake in the decoration of this city. But when it comes to graffiti, there are some unwritten rules. And once I explain this to you, you may start to actually notice it more. Now, along the canals, it's quite accepted as long as it's not on someone's house or you're painting someone's fence. Any abandoned buildings, you get basically free reign. I've seen both of these places painted in the daytime numerous times, and this appears to all be okay. The shutters, the roller doors out the front of shops are frequently painted, but the shops themselves and any kind of private property is off limits. I am actually shooting a documentary here with some local artists, and this is the code as they've explained it to me. Any landmarks, bridges or temples or anything like that are an absolute no-go. And the rules these guys live by are actually quite fascinating. Anyway, love it or hate it, this is unquestionably a part of Bangkok. One thing to remember about Thailand is to not judge a book by its cover, looking at things at face value. Thailand may seem dangerous, or you may see the graffiti or the bars on the houses and you think you need to be really careful here, but that's not the case at all. I've walked through rundown slum, I hate using that word, but slum-like neighborhoods, and I've seen guys covered head to toe in tattoos, and your mind instantly thinks, danger, beware, gangster, you're about to get robbed. But that's not the case at all. I've met some of the friendliest people in the world in these communities. I think maybe the first time I walked into a place like that, I was a little unsure. But you have to remember, Thailand is the land of smiles, and if you approach with good energy, it will be reciprocated. So do you need to be concerned booking your next trip here or think of another destination? Not at all. I mean, maybe if you're offered some incredible job here out of nowhere that seems too good to be true, you might want to exercise a little caution. But in my almost 5 years of living here, I've learned that if you don't go looking for trouble, you won't find it. Put it this way, the only fights I've ever seen usually involve two Western dudes or some hero wanting to take on the security guards, which never really ends well. But I do genuinely believe that the biggest concern here is the other foreigners. When it comes to the locals, if you treat them well, you will be treated the same. So what will kill you is the fucking humidity, my God.